Alright guys, it's Kieran from Red Devil Weekly. Manchester United's PE class has beaten Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's Jurgen Klopp's mentality monsters. I completely fucked that up. Who cares? Who cares? United have won the FA Cup game 3-2 at Old Trafford. Goals from Greenwood, Rashford and Bruno Fernandes give United all, well, again, not all 3 points, a win and a ticket into the fifth round of the FA Cup. Well, they will be facing West Ham, and that is going to be a very good game indeed. And it's also made even sweeter by the fact that Liverpool are knocked out of the FA Cup. A 3-2 victory, and I'm so buzzing right now. What a time to be a Man United supporter. You just got to lap this up. You got to lap it all up while you can. What a time to be a United supporter. A 3-2 victory. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first win over Jurgen Klopp as well. It's happy days for Man United fans right now. We're just living in a good period for United. Hopefully we can continue that and get even more wins and continue our form in the league as well against Sheffield United. That game coming up, of course. Welcome Dazza and welcome Kobe. Thanks for joining. Kobe loved Greenwood celebration, of course. He was just saying hi to the haters. He sent a fantastic message to that. But realistically, we know Greenwood. We know how good Mason Greenwood is, and we know how good he can be. So, anyone who's hating on him realistically just isn't a Man United fan, in my opinion. I think you're allowed to criticise players, but hating on players, giving them undeserved criticism, I just don't see the point in it. I don't see the logic in it. But Greenwood really silenced a few of his doubters today. It was his first goal in 10 games, and what a goal to get it against Liverpool as well. Fantastic finish, really well taken. If it was Rashford who set him up for the first goal, then it was Greenwood who set up Rashford and returned the favour for the second goal. Again, a nicely taken finish by Marcus Rashford. Some people saying that Alisson should have done better in the Liverpool goal. And then Bruno Fernandes came on. And, defensively we weren't amazing. We did concede 2. Salah with 2 goals at Old Trafford, which I was a little bit disappointed with because I kind of thought that Salah wasn't supposed to score against United. I thought, we'd stop that from happening. But unfortunately, Salah came good today for Liverpool. But fortunately, it didn't happen for them. They only scored 2. And even though they got their goal-scoring mojo back, it looks like, they still weren't able to beat us. And this is what I'm saying. This team is different. It's different to what we've seen in previous seasons. Last season, we don't win that game. The season before, we don't win that game. The season before, we don't win that game of football. This is what I'm saying. This team is different. We've got match winners. Multiple match winners on the pitch. So, trust me, this team is different. Kobe says the 2 Mancunians destroy the Scousers. Exactly, mate. Rashford and Greenwood had brilliant games today. Bruno Fernandes, of course, having the deciding vote in the game, having the deciding action. A free kick on the edge of the area, his trademark, go the keeper's side. No chance for Alisson. I think he must have saw it late because he did dive a little bit late, but it was a brilliant finish nonetheless. And we go away with the victory and a trip into the 5th round of the FA Cup. We'll be taking on West Ham. I wouldn't be surprised if we get another hard team coming up, but it won't be Liverpool and it won't be Arsenal either. So, that's something to smile about. But just in general, the fact that we've beaten Liverpool the first time Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has got the better of Jurgen Klopp. It's a great time to be a United fan, as I said. I have to reiterate that. It's a fantastic time to be a United fan. So you just got to be as positive as possible. You just got to be as cheerful as possible. And obviously in these lockdown times as a United fan, it's great to be watching some good football. Because if we've been playing some really crap football, I don't know if I'll be able to cope, to be honest. Honestly, our football team right now is the only thing that's keeping me sane in this lockdown and in these unprecedented times. So happy that we're coming good right now, and we look to be in very, very good form. We look to be in a very, very good place. And who knows, maybe the FA Cup will be added to some other silverware this year. And I'm not going to say it because I don't want to jinx it, but you know what I'm talking about. Adam's joined us. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. He says, yes, come on, United. Come on, Adam. Love it. And thanks, Rich, for joining as well. Appreciate it. Make sure you check out Rich's match review as well. I was on there with Adam. Had a good time on there. So make sure you do check that out as well if you haven't already. But yeah, fantastic performance overall, I think. A great win. Obviously, we did concede 2 at home. And I think we don't often concede 2 at home. But Well, this season we do, but I feel like Liverpool did look threatening when going forward. I thought they weren't going to play as strong of a lineup. I did think they were going to put all their eggs in the Premier League basket, but to be fair to them, they did rest a few players. But they did come with a pretty strong lineup in the end. I think we came, with a pretty strong lineup. I think some United fans were a bit surprised at how strong we went, but they also came strong. So in the end, it was a very, very good game. It's a very, very good game. But it's one of those things, isn't it? We go through to the fifth round of the FA Cup. A lot to play for. A lot to play for in the run into the end of the season. Still got Europa League as well. I think a question I want to pose to you guys, really, in the live chat and also the comment section down below, is that if we do, get past West Ham and look like we could do something in the FA Cup, do we sack off the Europa League? Do we, put the Europa League aside? Because realistically, the Europa League is one of those competitions which will interfere with our league form. Whenever you play Europa League on a Thursday night, you have to play the Sunday kickoff, and I don't think any Premier League team has ever won the Premier League playing Thursday, Sunday. I don't think any team has done that. So that's something which we've got to think about. Is it worth it playing Europa League and trying to win the Europa League? I'm not sure. Kimberly, thanks for joining. Kimberly, how are you doing? Obviously a Liverpool fan. Appreciate you joining. She says, you played your full-strength team against us. Well, we played kids. Well played, though. Well, to be fair, some of them were kids. I think your centre-back, was it Williams? Reece Williams, he had an absolute shocker today, I'm afraid. Reece Williams really didn't have a good game. Rashford had, exploited Reece Williams a lot. I think, as we thought going into the game, Trent Alexander-Arnold struggled against Marcus Rashford, but we kind of knew that was going to happen. But if you actually look at your whole team, it wasn't that weak, in my opinion. I mean, you did play a few of the kids, but actually your team on paper still had Salah, Firmino, Thiago. You still had Fabinho in your side, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Robertson, Wijnaldum. You still had a decent side. But I don't want to rub it anymore. But yeah, cheers for coming on. Appreciate it. And Ryan, thanks for joining. Ryan McSwing says, great win today. I think we should just play the kids in the Europa League. Yeah, I think, you're right. I think a lot of people will... a lot of people will probably, agree with you. I think the Europa League, realistically, this season, especially where we find ourselves after 19-20 games, is kind of a bit of, should be put on the back burner, really. I don't think it should be a priority for us. Obviously, Europa League's the only one where if you win it, it's great. If you don't win it, it's a waste of time. It's an absolute waste of time. So for me, I think we should probably play the kids. I think you're absolutely right, Ryan. Welcome, G. Welcome, Red Devil Studio. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. Good to see you on Rich's stream as well. Make sure you check out Red Devil Studio if you haven't already. Brilliant stuff, as always. He says, lol, I didn't play a full-strength team against Liverpool. Yeah, we weren't full-strength. We were fairly strong, but we didn't actually play full strength. Fernandes was on the bench, and fortunately he came on for us and made the difference in the end. And I've heard all this stuff about how Fernandes can't do it against the top six. He can't do it in the big moments. How about a 75th minute free kick to beat Liverpool at Old Trafford? That's a pretty big moment, but we'll leave that lingering, obviously, for any rival fans that are in the stream. Kimberly says, yes, because Reece is playing against Cavani and Rashford. What is the kid going to do against seasoned players? Yeah, I mean, listen, you've got to talk to Klopp about that one, really. You've got to talk to Klopp. I mean, it was his decision to put him in. I saw a lot of Liverpool fans saying, asking where Joel Matip was, and I thought Joel Matip was going to be fit for this game. I think he played against Burnley, if I'm not mistaken, so I was surprised when I didn't see Joel Matip in the team. But it's his decision. You've got to back Klopp. One of the greatest Premier League managers of all time. You've got to ask him his decision. Kobe says Reece Williams played like Robbie Williams. Yeah, I'll tell you what. I think Robbie Williams would have had a better touch. Because I think the goal that Rashford scored, I felt a little bit bad for the kid. He was a little bit out of his depth. Rashford just had him on toast, realistically. But we did well to exploit that, and I think that's what I'm saying. In previous seasons, we don't exploit the weaknesses, and I feel like at Anfield we didn't exploit the weakness in their defence. But today we really showed up, and we did well and exploited it with the pace in behind. Rich says, no one cares about the Europa League play reserves. Yep, I think everyone echoes that. Adam says, to be fair, Reece Williams has come far from playing non-league to starting for Liverpool. I think, well, you've got to say fair play. The journey is very, very good. But realistically, he does seem a little bit out of his depth. He still seems a little bit out of his depth. G says it's so funny because the average age of the Liverpool side is higher than the eye. How old do you think Greenwood is? Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Just because our players play like they've been playing in the Premier League for 10 years doesn't mean they have. Exactly. You know, Greenwood is only, 19? Rashford's still only 23. I mean, our average age was probably around 20, probably around 24 today. It wasn't even that high. Dazza, thanks for joining. Dazza, what a win. Come on, you Reds, he says. I think that sums it up, really. As I said, what a time to be a United fan. I know it's a pandemic right now, but our team's performance are getting us through this pandemic. It's certainly helping me mentally with this pandemic. Being able to watch United do well week in, week out, it seems, and be on a good run of form is really, really helping. And so hopefully it continues for a long period of time. Rich says, how many games without a win for Liverpool now? I think it's about 6, Rich. I think it's about 6. Kimberly says, it's time we start looking for a Klopp replacement. Wow, really? Really? You don't think Klopp's the man to do it? I tell you what, a few weeks ago he was one of the greatest managers in the league. Wow. I tell you what, I wasn't expecting a Liverpool fan to be saying that. I wasn't expecting a Liverpool fan to be saying Klopp needs to go. Is it just me, or was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer the bookie's favourite to be sacked at the start of the season? Was it just me? I don't know. But now this Klopp out talk is too much. Yank Talking Smack, by the way, Connor, that is, if you don't know, make sure you check out his channel, Yank Talking Smack. Make sure you do check it out. Subscribe if you haven't already. Brilliant stuff on there. It's a new channel, so go and show it all the love and support that you can. Brilliant stuff on there. He says, up the Red Devils. 100%, mate. Up the Red Devils. We are flying right now. Up and away. Kimberly says, Cavani took your average age up to around 30. Yeah, true. Listen, if he scored his header, we could have won that game 4-2. It could have been even more embarrassing. I'm so gutted that he didn't score the header, but hey, we got the win. It doesn't matter. I'm buzzing. It doesn't matter. Cody says, hopefully people understand why Bruno doesn't perform in big games. It's because he doesn't suit the way Ole plays. Oh, right. So you think Bruno Fernandes doesn't suit the way that Ole wants to play? I mean, to be fair, I feel like Bruno Fernandes, is almost the way that Ole wants to play, almost embodies the way Ole wants to play, because Bruno Fernandes is the kind of guy who can take the ball and then start the counter-attack. We've seen that so many times this season. The one that I always think back to is a goal we scored against Brighton, where he plays the ball up to Rashford, Rashford does his thing, puts the ball in the back of the net. That's the sort of thing that Bruno Fernandes can do. He can get the ball just inside his own half and play a pass like that, which just splits the defence. You have the likes of Rashford running onto it, and I feel like Bruno Fernandes can play on that counter-attacking style of play, and I think Solskjaer does like to do that. Red Hill Studio says Reece wasn't playing against Southampton, Newcastle, Burnley, so what was the excuse? True. Listen, I'm gonna let Kimberly, the Liverpool fan, answer that. If there's any Liverpool fans in here, please do answer that question. But yeah, listen, for me, Klopp has to take some responsibility for his selection. But to me, I don't think Liverpool should be worrying about the FA Cup too much. I think they should be worrying about the league. We can worry about the FA Cup because we're top of the league right now, so anything's a bonus for us. But for Liverpool, you guys need to really focus on the league. Kimberly says, I'm not saying he needs to go, but if he keeps making poor selections, we need to start prepping for someone new to take the helm. Wow, that is a statement. I didn't expect Liverpool fans to be saying that. That's all I'm going to say. Dazza says, Kimberly, without Klopp, you'll be nowhere. You would have never have been Champions League or Premier League winners without him. If he goes, you're mid-table side. Simple as that. Strong words from Darryl Johnson. But make sure you check out Dazza's Football Stand as well if you want more brilliant commentary like that. Yank Talking Smack says, cheers Kieran, match reaction out tonight, stay tuned, excited for this one. Yeah, make sure you check out his channel, make sure you check out his match reaction when it comes out. I'm sure it'll be absolute gold. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, mate. Dazza says, where's all the Bruno haters at? What a goal. Moments FC, but I don't care one bit. I do not care. As long as we keep winning games. Well, I don't care if we win by a moment every game. I don't care if we win 1-0 every match. If we win every game towards the end of the season and win the title, I don't care if it says Moments FC on the trophy. I do not care. Because, realistically, we've got match winners. That's what I'm seeing. Rather than this idea that, we're playing shit because we only win in moments. Realistically, every team wins in moments. I don't understand this, Man United are the only team that can play shit and then have a moment and win. It's ridiculous. Secondly, We've got match winners. All it's proving is that we've got more match winners than we ever have. Bruno Fernandes, Paul Pogba, Rashford, Martial, Cavani, they're all match winners. So when I hear people say, oh, Man United are moments FC, maybe we are, but that's because we've got match winners who can create moments. And surely if we're creating moments, it means we're playing well. I just don't understand it. But listen, I love it. I love the fact that people are still doubting United. I'd rather be doubted. Hated, adored, never ignored. Hated, adored, never ignored. Kiss Kobe, what? Bruno is literally perfect for the way Ollie plays. Against a low block, he can create a low percentage pass, and through counter-attacks, his transition is second to none. Yeah, I think there's a degree I agree with that. As I said, that goal against Brighton's a perfect example. He's the type of player that can pick the ball up in his own half, play it through, and all of a sudden you've created a chance. And, his goal contributions this season have been absolutely amazing. So, you've got to salute Bruno Fernandes, man. What a player he is. I mean, I can't believe we had to suffer through life before Bruno Fernandes, to be honest with you. I really can't. Dazza says the scenes when Bruno scored that free kick and silenced the haters, brilliant. Exactly. All those people that said he couldn't do it against the top six, said he was a flat track bully. It's just a beautiful moment. To beat Liverpool, to silence the haters, what a day. And it snowed as well to give a bit more excitement. What a day. Dazza says people need to give players like Williams a chance. He's a young player, he's got a lot of potential. I think people are very quick to criticise and put pressure on young players, especially with Diallo. A lot of people are putting pressure on Diallo, especially with all the talk about him being so good in training. But I think we just have to give players a break, especially when they're not getting regular first team football. You can't expect any level of consistency if they're not getting regular starts or regular places in the first 11. For example, Donnie Van Der Beek, for me, I thought he had a brilliant game considering he's been, stop-start really in his Man United career so far. So, for me, people slate Donnie Van Der Beek a little bit, saying he looked a bit off the pace. But actually, to be fair, realistically, is he going to be ever on the pace if he never starts any games? How can you can't tell me that a player is going to perform week in, week out if he's not playing week in, week out. And, if a player, plays a few games, then doesn't play for a month, then plays a few games, he's never going to be able to have that base to create some consistency in his game. He's just not going to. So, for me, that's why I feel like, people need to lay off a little bit on the criticism of certain players. Adam says, to be fair, Klopp is making bad decisions, but it's the reason Liverpool have been, on quote-unquote, unbeatable. So that's just stupid. Yeah, listen, I don't like the man. I don't like Klopp. It's very difficult for me to like any Liverpool managers. But realistically, Jurgen Klopp is one of the main reasons why Liverpool are where they are. He's built the team from the ground up, and you have to say fair play to him. Even though, it hurts me to say, you have to say, fair play to Jurgen Klopp. He's done a great job with Liverpool. But it seems like it's falling apart a little bit right now. And yes, they've still got a very talented team, and I'm sure when Van Dijk comes back, things will start to change. But Jurgen Klopp right now, you can see in his interviews, you can see in his press conferences, he's starting to lose the plot a little bit, and it's absolutely glorious. It's glorious. Kimberly says, congratulations guys, better team won today. You're not winning the league though. Well, thank you very much for that. But I think Liverpool fans are increasingly starting to worry. I think they're starting to worry. Klopp is definitely starting to flap. You can tell by the way he talks about United in every single interview he does, every single press conference. United is always on his mind. He's always on the agenda. Rent-free, ladies and gentlemen. Rent-free. G said Liverpool not making the top four. Hey, if they keep going like it is, I think you could be absolutely right. Dazza says, I wouldn't go that far, G. They've got the quality to achieve top four at least. They've got the quality, but if they don't start picking up the form, then they could be... if you look at someone like Spurs, they've got Spurs on the weekend. Who knows where Liverpool could be after this weekend if we win our game and, Spurs lose. We're 9 points ahead of Liverpool. Imagine saying that at the start of this season. We would be 9 points ahead of Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool. It's the land of make-believe. It would have been the land of make-believe, but right now, it's a realistic possibility. They've got to go to Spurs. They're going to want revenge after just being pipped at Anfield. It's going to be a cracker of a game. I'm hoping we beat Sheffield United so we can just kind of sit there, watch that game with our feet up, and just enjoy it. So hopefully we get the job done against Sheffield, and I believe we will get the job done against Sheffield pretty comfortably. Kimberly says, I'll wait until you lose one game and your confidence FC crumbles. Well, listen, Since the Everton game we won 3-1, Ollie said we won't give them the pleasure of losing again. We haven't. We haven't lost. And listen, this mentality is different. The team's mentality is different. The team is built different this year. Pogba's stepping up. Bruno Fernandes is doing Bruno Fernandes things. Rashford seems to be picking up form a little bit again. Cavani's on form. It's going to be very, very difficult to stop us. I really do think it'll be difficult to stop us. And I'm not getting ahead of myself. I just feel confident. I feel like this is probably the most confident I've felt as a Manchester United fan since Sir Alex Ferguson left. And I'm not sure what you guys are feeling. Let me know if you're feeling the same way. But I 100% feel like this is the most confident I've felt as a Manchester United fan. And I'm not saying we're going to win the league. I'm not saying it's a done deal that we're going to win the league, because Man City are a very strong side. I don't think Liverpool can win the league, especially with the form that you're showing right now, Kimberly. But I just feel like, anything can happen in this league. Maybe you'll come back into it. I'm not closing that door just yet, but I feel like there's a realistic chance that we could win the league title. And that is mind-blowing considering how we started this season and all the doom and gloom around the transfer window. It is mind-blowing. Mind-blowing that we're in this position, in my opinion. I love the banter in the chat. Keep it coming, keep it coming. G says Liverpool can't beat teams in the bottom six and can't score. Jose to put the knife in. Yeah, and again, as well as that, I think, the revenge factor. Jose Mourinho is a guy who loves the big occasion. He loves the revenge. He shushes down the camera when he gets an important win. He loves being doubted. So I'm sure Liverpool will be in for a very rocky ride in that game as well. So I'm looking forward to watching it. As I said, we need to beat Sheffield United so we can sit back and watch that game with the feet up, cup of tea in hand, and just have a good time watching that game. Yank Talking Smack says 21 and 21 written in the stars. Love that, Connor. Oh, all the signs are there. All the signs are there. Kobe says, watch Arsenal turn to prime Brazil against us next week. Yeah, that's the one thing that is worrying me a little bit. I am worried that Arsenal could turn up. They always seem to turn up at the Emirates against us. So as well, looking at their social media fan following on their fan base, they will want to beat us like nothing you've ever seen before, especially since we're going for the title. They will be right up for it. And Arteta's just a tricky manager, man. He's the type of guy who, when he's on form, they're so difficult to beat. And they're on form right now. Although, to be fair, in their game, I think it was in the FA Cup, they lost 1-0 to Southampton. They looked pretty toothless in that game. So if they can just take a bit of that form into the game, we should be absolutely fine. But realistically, if we are going to win a title, you need to win these sort of games against mid-table opposition like Arsenal. You need to be winning those sort of games. Like the vid says, yeah, appreciate it, man. Like the vid, guys, if you aren't already. Really do appreciate all of your support. So yeah, if you are enjoying the content, please feel free to hit that like button. If you're not, then don't worry. Honestly, it's your choice. If you do enjoy it, hit that like button, but don't worry if not. And subscribe to the channel as well if you are new, of course. Really do appreciate all of their support. Cumberley says, I've got a Champions League trophy in my trophy cabinet in the last 5 years. You're not even playing Champions League. We're hard chilling. Listen, we can't talk about trophies in the last 5 years, but we can certainly talk about the fact that we've won 20 Premier Leagues and we're going to win 21 this year. And imagine this. You wait 30 years for a Premier League title to knock Man United off their perch. The next season, we knock you off your perch again. Imagine you wait 30 years for that. 30 years. It's incredible. Maybe I'm getting a bit ahead of myself, but you know what? That's what football fans being all about. Connor says, last time we had a treble, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer scored a winner against Paul, FA Cup 4th round. Of course he did. Of course. Rich said he got 2 goals near the end. Of course, yeah. Solskjaer, what a player, man. What a player. And potentially, what a manager as well. He's showing the credentials of a potential Premier League title winning manager. Who knows? Rich says Arsenal always turn up annoyingly. Yep, it's very, very annoying. Very, very annoying indeed. But they always do turn up at the Emirates against us. And it's their cup final. Realistically, it's their cup final. If you look at what they're playing for in the league, which is this is what they're playing for in the league. This is their cup final. This is their big day out, playing against Manchester United to spoil the party. That's what they've become. They've become a West Brom, an Aston Villa, one of these sides that are just there to spoil the party. They won't do anything in the league, but they're just there to spoil the party. They're not going for anything. But we're not going to make the stream about Arsenal. We've just beaten Liverpool. It's about Manchester United right now. Kimberly says the problem is you guys give them too much respect when they have the ball. Press them and they'll start stressing. Well, today, to be fair, especially Williams, your centre-back, when we pressed him, he looked an absolute fish out of water. He was floundering about. So maybe you're right on that one. And hopefully he'll pass it on to Klopp. So Ollie. So next time we play you, he'll have that message from you. Kobe says Liverpool fans be like, my mum is clopping. She mad. Obviously the troops quote. If you guys know, you guys will know. You guys know. Dazza says 12 years since we won the Champions League in 2008. Liverpool took 14 years to win it since 2005. Yeah, but you know what? You have to say fair play to Liverpool. They're the team winning the trophies at the moment. But if we win the Premier League, as I said, if we win the Premier League after them waiting for 30 years to win a Premier League and get one over on us, if we come back the next season and win again, mad, it's going to be scenes. It's going to be absolutely scenes on the Red Devil Weekly channel and probably all over social media as well. So don't get it twisted. It's going to be absolutely party time for Man United fans if that happens. So, oh boy, oh man, am I looking forward to that. Adam says Trent, when a forward attacks him, he doesn't know what to do. He's been bad this season. I mean, I was talking to a few Liverpool fans before the game, and they were saying actually it wasn't his defending that was bad. It was actually his crossing ability that has been really questionable since the start of this season. And to be fair, crossing wise, he didn't do that great. He put in a few balls which troubled the defence, but really nothing of note. And going forward, he looks as shallow as his former self. He really does. And I knew that we'd be able to get him. I knew we'd be able to get him today. And, Marcus Rashford, that battle with him and Rashford was always going to be the big battle today. And Rashford, ran at him, put him on toast. To be fair, he didn't get absolutely humiliated like he did a few seasons ago back in 2018. But he's not on good form right now, Trent Alexander-Arnold. But as an England fan, with the Euros coming up, I hope he can get on back on good form because obviously after the season finishes, I'm supporting all these guys like Trent and Gomez and all the England guys and Foden. As soon as the European Championships come around, I'm an England fan. So all these guys, I hope they do come good just in time for the European Championships, but not before then. Kimberly says, Dad, do you think you're winning it in the next 2 years? You shouldn't have commented that. It's going to be embarrassing when you don't win it after 20 plus years. We'll come back to this comment. Someone bookmark this stream. We'll come back to this on the 20th of May. Yank says Rashford made Trent Alexander-Arnold look like Sunday League. Yeah, not for the first time, as Adam says. Not for the first time. Kobe says, didn't Arsenal get Martin Odegaard on loan from Madrid? Watch him turn into prime Ronaldinho next week. Yeah, that's something that worries me. But to be fair, he's a decent player. But let's get one thing straight, lads. Real Madrid don't let anyone go who's half decent. Tell me the last Real Madrid player that left Real Madrid and did better than they're doing at that club. Please do let me know who that is. Let me know, because realistically, they don't let go of anyone of note. Bayern Munich don't let go of anyone of note. Barcelona don't. So when you sign a player from these clubs, realistically, you have to take it with a little pinch of salt, saying these guys don't usually let go of players that are that good. So Odegaard, we've seen what he can do. He's a decent young player. I'm not saying he isn't a decent player, and I'm sure he'll score against us next week after I've said that. But realistically, Real Madrid don't let go of any players who are half decent. So hopefully he can prove me right with that. Rich says Trent Alexander-Arnold's been poor for a while. Yep, totally agree, Rich. Dana said Aaron Wan-Bissaka should be called up ahead of Trent. Yeah, I'm not sure if he plays for England or if he's playing for the Congo. I'm not 100% sure if he's doing that. I'm not sure if he is still registered to play for England. But who knows? I feel like if Aaron Wan-Bissaka could go forward, it would be a no-brainer for Gareth Southgate that he'd be picked. But I think the fact that Aaron Wan-Bissaka going forward isn't as good as Alexander-Arnold, then I think Southgate likes Alexander-Arnold on that right side. A Football Crew Show, thanks for joining, appreciate it. He says, what a result that is, why we get called the comeback kings. Yes, yet again, we go behind in a game twice. No, only once actually. They only equalised, didn't they? But we go behind in a game and we come back to win it. And again, the mentality's there. The mentality is there. That's what I'm saying. That's always been in the Man United DNA. But right now, we are playing some brilliant stuff. And it just looks... It's one of those things where even when you go 1-0 down, we always feel like we're going to get back into the game. And that wasn't the case in previous seasons. And especially against Liverpool, whenever we play Liverpool, I'd always think when we go 1-0 down, I'd be thinking it's not about how, it's how many. And now, when we go 1-0 down, we went 1-0 down in that game, I wasn't worried in the slightest. I was not worried in the slightest. I'm not sure if you guys agree, but I wasn't worried. I was thinking, we will get back into this game. We'll get back into this game. Connor says Shaw is the best left back in the league. I think right now it's hard to disagree with you, Connor. I think right now Shaw is an absolute beast, an animal, and he's done so well. As I said in the previous stream, the fact that he's proving the haters wrong and he's come back from all the people saying he's overweight, it's just so heartwarming to see. And I think, we knew how good of a player he was. Even before the injuries he's got, we knew he was a fantastic player. And we knew that if he got a long run of games in the team, he would be a massive asset to us. And it's proving absolutely right now. He's been brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. A few people guys are talking about who Real Madrid let go. Cody said Reguilon. Yeah, but to be fair, Reguilon's got a buyback clause on him, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's going back to Real Madrid. Kimberly says Cristiano Ronaldo. Yeah, but that doesn't really count. I'm not giving you that one. G says, didn't Liverpool fans say Curtis Jones was better than Mason Greenwood? Yeah, I think they've probably forgotten that they said that, but they definitely did. I definitely saw a lot of people on social media, you know who you are, saying that sort of thing. Greenwood, and I love the post he made as well. I'm not sure if you guys have seen his Instagram post or his Twitter post. I absolutely loved his Instagram post saying hello to the haters. It was amazing, absolutely amazing. That's the sort of response that we want to see. That's the sort of mentality that you want to see from a 19-year-old kid. So just brilliant to see. Brilliant to see. Kimberly says, Dazza, what you... I'll leave that one there. Rich says, Van Der Beek got the start. How do people think he did? Yeah, let us know in the live chat how you thought Van Der Beek did. We'll get to your comments about that. For me, I thought Van Der Beek did well, especially considering he hasn't really had a full run of games in the team. To come into the game against Liverpool, the first game he started probably since... Did he start the Everton game in the Carabao Cup? Or I'm not sure if he started that game, but I can't remember the last game he started before this one today. But he did brilliantly in my opinion. Yeah, a few times he looked a little bit off the pace, but you are going to look a little bit off the pace, especially when you're not getting regular first team football. So yeah, let us know what you think about that. Connor says Van Der Beek could have been better, but don't blame him. He needs some more opportunities to play. Totally agree, Connor. Totally agree. Great minds think alike. Rich says, are people kicking off in the chat? It's like one of my streams. Yeah, I know, a bit of banter. Obviously, as long as it doesn't go too far, we love a bit of banter, so keep it up, lads. Let's see what you guys are saying. Adam says, Greenwood makes me proud to be a Yorkshire man. Of course, I'd actually learned today from you that he was from Bradford. I thought he was from Manchester. For some reason, every Man United player that comes through the academy, I'm automatically thinking, yep, he was born 2 miles from Old Trafford. But actually, that's not really the case. And as well, some of the players we brought in, we've got Diallo to come, Palestri as well. A lot of exciting talent to come. I'm looking forward to it. It's a good time, as I said, to be a Manchester United fan right now. It's a very, very good time indeed. So yeah, just, I'd just say lap it up, enjoy it while you can, enjoy it while it lasts, and make hay while the sun shines. Connor said, damn right, Rich, my star boy pocketing all right wingers and right mids. Yeah, he did fantastically well today. Fantastically well. Shaw was brilliant. And I think Shaw has been good for a number of games. And again, him, like someone like Eric Bailly, both of them are in the same camp where we need to keep those guys in cotton wool. We need to keep them in cotton wool. If they can stay fit, we will do well this season. The three most important players, in my opinion, to this team right now is Luke Shaw, Bruno Fernandes, and... oh my god, I've forgotten it. Luke Shaw, Bruno Fernandes, and Eric Bailly. Those are the three most important players for this team right now. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I reckon if those three stay fit, we could do well this season. Kimberly says, Van Der Beek didn't give you anything special, looked like a decent squad player, which is exactly what Ole's using him for. Don't see why United fans want him to start games. As I said, I feel like, people are, getting a little bit over the top with Van Der Beek. People are getting a bit worried about the fact he's not starting. And to be fair, I was one of those people that said, I would be a bit frustrated if Van Der Beek didn't start this game, because I'm thinking, what other opportunity does he have to start? If he doesn't start in this sort of game, when is he going to start? You know what I mean? So that was the sort of thing I was thinking. But yeah, he did all right. And again, Van Der Beek's time will come. We've seen with loads of clubs that they brought in players that have turned out to be kind of squad players, but in a season's time, they start to flourish, they start becoming part of the regular team. Bernardo Silva at Manchester City, I think that's the best example that I can think of. Bernardo Silva came to Manchester City and he wasn't really being played, and everyone's saying, why isn't Pep playing Bernardo Silva? He paid X amount of millions for him, why isn't he playing? Next season he becomes a regular part of that team and goes on to win the league. So for me, it's a similar thing with Bernardo Silva, is that Van Der Beek has come in, he's still quite young, he's still only 23 years old. So he's got a lot to give this club, and I know there's rumours about him wanting to leave and there's rumours about him wanting to go out on loan, but for me, Van Der Beek will come good and he will have his time in this team. There's no doubt about it. A player of his quality doesn't come to Manchester United just to be loaned out again. For me, he will have his chance. He will have his chance. Don't worry about that. Kimberly says, also, who would you replace in your starting 11? For me, I feel like in today's starting 11, I'm not sure. I feel like we didn't play our full strength starting 11 today. I think Bruno Fernandes, of course, would play alongside Paul Pogba rather than Van Der Beek. I think in terms of the midfielder behind him, obviously Scott McTominay played today. I think Nemanja Matic definitely gets a shout. I think he's all right actually when he plays. I think the back line, I'd probably substitute Bailly for Lindelof, and I'd probably substitute David De Gea for Dean Henderson. Even though I thought Dean Henderson didn't have a bad game today, he could have done better for that second goal, but I didn't think he had a bad game today. So those were probably the changes I'd make. I think those were the changes that Ole made coming into this game. It was 5 changes from the side that beat Fulham. But it just shows our squad depth that we can make 5 changes and we can still beat Liverpool. This is an amazing sign. It really is a good sign going forward. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do in the coming weeks. And if we can just hang on in there, because Man City have got some difficult fixtures, Liverpool have got some difficult fixtures. If we can just hang in and hang on to this title spot, this number 1 spot, for at least another 2 or 3 weeks, we could really be in for a title charge. So let's hope we can do it. That's all we can hope for. Hopefully we can continue our good vein of form. By the way, if you haven't already, hit that like button. Always appreciate to get likes, and also if you are new around here, subscribe to the channel. Always appreciated. Kimberly says Van Der Beek, Pogba and Bruno playing together has zero balance. You get countered on way too easily. I think, I probably would look to play at least one of McTominay, Fred or Matic, and that's what Solskjaer usually does. And in the big games, he always plays a double with McTominay and Fred. So that's how Solskjaer views it. And I think actually, that's the way it should be, in my opinion. Kevin, thanks for joining, Kevin. Always good to hear from you, my friend. He says, is it a plane? Is it a chopper? Is it a bird? No, it's Man United flying high. Love that, Kevin. Love that. Exactly, we're all on cloud 9 right now. Man United doing the business, and as I said, it's helping me get through this lockdown. It really is helping me get through this lockdown. But Kevin, always a pleasure to see you, my friend. Thanks for coming. Really do appreciate it. As I said, hit that like button if you haven't already. Absolutely fantastic support tonight. Really appreciate everyone who's getting in the comments. I'll be wrapping up very, very shortly, so I'll be reading out the last few comments. If you've got any more comments, any questions, anything you want to say at all, get it in now before we do finish up the stream. Does agree with he do starting, to be fair. De Gea shouldn't have been starting. We wouldn't have conceded that equaliser with him in goal. Poor to concede. So, alright, seeing Dino starting, he's saying, yeah, listen, Dean Henderson, I don't think he's a bad goalkeeper. I think he's actually a decent keeper. But yeah, David De Gea is right now streets ahead of Dean Henderson. And I think, it showed today. I think Dean Henderson didn't look as assured as David De Gea does. And I think, De Gea right now is on the top of his game. Maybe it's because of the competition that has come in with Dean Henderson. But there's no doubt that David De Gea is playing some excellent football right now. I'm sure he'll be back in for the game against Sheffield United. But to be fair, I can't criticise Dean Henderson too much today. Yes, you could argue the second goal he was at fault for a little bit. He could have done a lot better. But to be fair, Dean Henderson hasn't done too badly in the games that he's come in. I think the one game that he had a bit of a shocker was that Sheffield United game. He didn't have the best of games there. But actually, Dean Henderson overall this season hasn't been too bad. So we've got a little bit of an embarrassment of riches in goalkeeper because whether you have De Gea or whether you have Henderson, you still have a pretty strong option in there. You still have a pretty strong option, even if you do play Dean Henderson. So it's a good problem for Solskjaer to have. That's all I'm going to say. You'd rather have 2 keepers that are playing well than no keepers that are playing well. You know what I mean? Rich says, a Liverpool player playing today you want at United. Very good question actually. And the same, obviously, if Kimberly's still in the chat, as Rich said, any United player. Yeah, that's a good question. If you guys want to answer that as well, get involved in the live chat. Any Liverpool player playing today I'd want at United. I probably would have said Thiago, but Bruno Fernandes is much better than Thiago, mate. I'm telling you. So Thiago's off the table. I think Sadio Mane for me is quality. You know, he's someone who's always dangerous going forward. Yes, he's not on the best goal scoring form right now, but Sadio Mane for me, if we had a front 3 of, you know, Rashford, Cavani and Mane, what a front 3 that would be. It'd probably rival the SAS, Suarez, Griezmann and the SAS, us Suarez, Sterling and I don't know. I've forgotten what it is. MSN. Sorry, the Messi, Suarez, Neymar one. So for me, I think I'll go with Sadio Mane. I'll go Sadio Mane. I think as well Van Dijk has to be up there. You have to say Van Dijk really. You know, I think Fabinho, obviously Kobe goes with Fabinho again. Fabinho's a very good shout. We've seen he's been quality for Liverpool as well in that centre-back role. He can play a lot of different roles. He's a bit of a utility player, and that is so important in this squad as well. So I think, you know, Fabinho's not a bad shout. So yeah, I think, for me, I think, you know, Fabinho's a good shout. I think Van Dijk, if Van Dijk was fit right now, he would be the obvious choice. You know, put Van Dijk next to someone like Harry Maguire. What a player he would be. So yeah, I think Van Dijk for me. So yeah, let me know. I mean, what are you guys thinking? Obviously, Kobe goes to Fabinho. What about you, Rich? What about you? Kevin says, "Love it is. I love United." Yep. Mate, honestly, right now it's difficult to be sad with United. It's difficult. It really is. We're playing some brilliant football. You know, it's really helping to kind of watch United and actually do well. I feel like if we were doing badly, it would affect my mental health a little bit, to be honest, especially in this pandemic. But we're doing fantastically well. So you've got to hope that we keep it up. And if we can win a title as well, it would be unbelievable. Honestly, absolutely unbelievable. But yeah, as I said, you know, United top of the league into the next round of the FA Cup. Massive, absolutely massive. Naveen's joined us. Thanks for joining. He says, we are not scared of any team anymore from today onwards. Well, the thing is, this is one of the points, I actually haven't said this yet in the stream. One of the points I made in this other stream I was on was that even though, you know, some United fans were saying that we should just focus on the league, we don't need the FA Cup as a distraction, and I get that point of view. But winning today is a big statement. And the reason it's a big statement in my eyes is because we haven't beaten Jurgen Klopp, or Ole Gunnar Solskjaer hasn't beaten Jurgen Klopp as Man United manager. In terms of the mentality, we've already seen our mentality is just perfect right now. We've got a killer mentality. We're winning games that in some ways we have no business of winning. And to beat Liverpool as well is massive. We haven't beaten any of the top 6 this season. We've only really drawn and lost. So to beat Liverpool at Old Trafford 3-2, yeah, we rode our luck at times, but to win 3-2 at Old Trafford against Liverpool is a massive boost for the mentality. Massive boost for the mentality. No doubt about that at all. And that's why it's a big win. And hopefully we can take that into the league. And if we can beat a few of the top 6 sides, I'm sure we can go for that title, because that's something that we need to improve on if we are going to do it. And Avino says if we have someone like Rashford, like winger, on the right wing, we are unstoppable. Rashford was great today. You know, he's someone who caused Trent Alexander-Arnold a lot of problems, as we said before. We knew that was kind of going to be the case, especially how we've been defending recently, which was really poor. So we knew Rashford was going to have Trent Alexander-Arnold on toast. His end product still needs a little bit of improving, but today his finish was absolutely brilliant. Just hard and low. Alisson tried to get down to it. He got a hand on it, but it just wasn't enough. And he also set up Greenwood's goal. Goal and assist for Marcus Rashford. The boys running the show. The boys running the show. And it's so good to see as well. You know, doing great stuff on and off the pitch right now, Marcus Rashford. And hopefully it continues. Kevin says United shit in the pool. United shit in the pool. Love that, Kevin. Love that. Naveen says the chemistry between Rash and Shaw needed in the right flank. Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Sancho. Yes, Aaron Wan-Bissaka is not attacking minded, but imagine. Hey, I tell you what. I'm not sure it's the right time to get back on the Sancho train just yet, but who knows? I mean, I totally agree with you that the partnership of Luke Shaw and Rashford is so much better than the one between him and Martial. We saw that against Fulham, and they just weren't on the same wavelength whatsoever, and that's nothing to do with them as players. It's just maybe because they don't really play together that often that they weren't really on the same wavelength. But actually, Rashford and Shaw, do play very, very well together. I noticed last season a lot of the time that when Rashford and Shaw were playing as the two players on that left-hand side, they both complemented each other, and Rashford was much better for it. So I think that's the way to go, and I think Solskjaer will look to go that way. Rashford potentially might be injured. He said after the game there was something with his knee that was bothering him, so they're going to go for a scan tomorrow. Hopefully it's not too bad. He did walk off the pitch, so I don't imagine it's going to be anything more than a week or maybe 2 weeks. So I'm hopeful that Rashford can, come back and deliver the sort of form we saw Rashford in last season, because if he does, we could be in with a very, very good chance. And the final comment I'm going to read out before we wrap up is Adam. He said, I'm going to be pieing no matter what the game is. If it is against Liverpool, we have to go for it. Exactly. You've got to enjoy these times, because realistically, going into a game against Liverpool, usually we'd be sitting there thinking, if we don't lose the game, we've had a good game. Now we're thinking with a totally different mentality. The players are thinking with a totally different mentality. And it's just so good to see and so good to be witnessing it right now, especially in the midst of a global pandemic. It's cheering us all up, and boy, do we need cheering up right now. So hopefully have a good night. Hopefully have a good rest of your week, really, and hopefully next week you can be absolutely bouncing wherever you are as a Manchester United fan, enjoying everything, enjoying our good form. Hopefully we continue against Sheffield United. But thanks for watching, guys. Really do appreciate it. As always, hit that like button if you haven't already. Thank you so much. I think we've got over 10 likes on the stream, so thank you so much. Really do appreciate all of your support. It's absolutely amazing what you guys do. So please do hit that like button if you aren't already. Subscribe to the channel as well if you are new around here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys for the Sheffield United preview. But until then, hope you have a very good rest of your Sunday. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in a bit. Cheers.